muted. Can everybody hear me okay? Awesome. All right, cool. So we still have, just gonna grab my clock. So we still have a couple minutes, so I'll give it just a couple minutes before we begin, but see Julie's out there. Hi, Julie. Lee, Monica. It's fun. Christopher's here. Hi, Christopher. So I figured you guys are all at home, so I was going to try filming from my house today, and we'll see how it goes. Tonight we'll be back at the studio. So yeah, I just thought something a little bit different would be nice. Hi, Gabe. Awesome. All right, so it's almost about that time, so I don't think there's anyone new in here, but if there is, if you have anything going on with your body, just be mindful. Know that you don't have to push through any kind of pain, especially neck or lower back pain. This is all level Pilates, so it's a little bit different from the class that I taught Monday night, which was a sculpt. So today will be more of like a classic mat workout. There won't be any squatting or lunging or anything like that, but you'll get that on Sunday with Miss Audra. Oh, it's Yvonne. Hi, Yvonne. And then I'm going to kind of start everything from more of a foundation. And I'll give you a lot of different places or ways to level up. So just know you don't have to level up. And if you want to lay here and breathe for like 20 minutes, just know that's okay. It's totally okay. So before we start, any questions, any requests from anybody out there? A lot of abs and glutes today. All right, abs and glutes sound good. All right, so I'm gonna minimize the chat here in about 10 seconds. So if there's any last questions, let me know. If anything happens to the screen or the mic, you can call the main studio number and it's gonna be forwarding to Jen's cell phone, or you can email and people will be always watching when we're teaching. So if something happens, feel free to let us know, because the teacher, we typically don't know. All right. All right, we're gonna get rolling. So I'm gonna minimize the chat. All right, and we're gonna start in a seated position. So find a place where you're comfortable. It can be on your shins, it can be cross-legged, whatever feels good. Sorry, I said my internet connection went down. I think we're still there though. Okay. So again, just find a comfortable seat. And if cross-legged doesn't feel good, you can sit on a pillow or anything like that to give your hips and your back a little bit of space. And we're gonna start by closing our eyes and by breathing. And as you breathe in, start to feel the front of your chest expanding. And as you breathe out, feel the natural fall of your chest downward. And on your next breath in, we're gonna count to 5, 4, 3, 2. Hold at the top of the breath just for a moment, relax the shoulders. And then as you exhale, exhale out for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And again, breathing in through the nose, allow the ribs to expand. Hold at the top of the breath, relaxing the neck, the jaw, and the shoulders. And as you exhale, exhale softly for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Take one more full breath like that at your own time and your own pace. And I want you to notice just by breathing deeply, 3 deep breaths, 4 deep breaths, do you feel any kind of difference after every exhale? And then take your left arm down by your side. And as you exhale, take your right arm up and over for a gentle side bend. And then allow that right arm to roll slightly forward into your peripheral vision. Root down through your right hip and try to breathe into the right waistline. Now you can look down to the ground, or it might feel good to look up to the sky. Just find whatever place feels better in your neck. And then come back to center. Right arm comes down, left arm comes up and over. And then allow the arm to rotate slightly forward so it's in your peripheral vision and the shoulder softens out of the ear. And again, as you breathe, try to fill up the side of your ribs and lungs. Try to soften both shoulders. Rooting down through your left waistline, your left hip. And again, bringing it up. At your own time, at your own pace. Arm comes up, opposite hip heavy, maybe looking down. And breathe in. And then bringing that arm up. Last side. Left arm up, right arm down. And we're going to talk a lot about breath over the next hour. It's important for a lot of different reasons. One of which it will help relax your nervous system. So after you finish that last side, make your way onto your back. Knees bent, feet flat. And then find a place where your arms can relax by your side. Pelvis is neutral, so there's a little bit of space under the lower back without tension. As you exhale, allow your lower back to flatten to the floor, so your tailbone will lift slightly, your butt stays relaxed. Inhale, let the pelvis open to neutral. And again, exhale through the mouth. Belly draws in. Lower back flattens a bit. And then inhale, open to neutral. So take a couple more rounds like this and notice if you're clenching your butt muscles and see if you can let those relax for now. And as you breathe out, your breath has another function. So it helps relax your nervous system. It's also going to help engage your lower abdominals and your pelvic floor. So inhaling through the nose. And then as you exhale, if you feel down into this lower belly area, you should feel your waistline drawing in. So just take one more like that. On your next breath out, curl the tailbone, roll your hips up to the sky slowly, one vertebra at a time. So stopping when the hips are about in line with your shoulders and your knees. As you exhale, roll down, one bone at a time. Upper back, middle back. And then at the bottom, allow your pelvis to open to neutral. So you have that little bit of a curve under the lower back without tension. And again, scoop the tailbone, press into the feet. And this time as you roll up, I want you to think of your knees reaching forward as your heels gently pull towards your shoulders. So the back of your hamstrings are on, the glutes are on. And then stay lifted with me. And lift your ribs just for a moment. So this is a little bit more of a yoga bridge. The upper back's extended and out. Allow the front of your ribs to drop down, but keep your hips lifting up. So your glutes are on, the front of your obliques and abdominals are on. On your next breath, slowly roll it down. And every time we go down, we're trying to create a little bit more space and length in our waist, in our spine. Last one, exhale, curl, roll up. And this time we're going to stay lifted at the top. So the first option, we'll hold here, weight into your left leg. Exhale your right heel, or the whole right leg can float tabletop without shifting or moving the hips. So your hips are still square. Lower that leg down to the ground, toe ball heel, and then weight into the right leg is going to help you bring the left leg up, tabletop, and then bring it down, toe ball heel. So keep marching from side to side.
feeling not only your standing leg, but the sides of your waist. And if you touch your waist or your hips as your legs are moving, you don't want to feel too much shift or rotation in the pelvis. Check in with your breath, make sure you're still breathing. And then if you want to add on, the next time that your right leg is lifted, hold. Hips are square, arms are heavy. We'll inhale, tap the right toe towards the floor. Exhale to bring it up. Inhale to tap. Exhale to bring it up. Inhale down. And exhale up for 5. Okay. And you can continue to march out on both sides if that feels better. Last 3. Waistline staying in. 2. And on the last one, let that foot come down to the ground. And everyone meet, both feet heavy, ribs heavy. Take a breath in. Exhale, left leg can float up if you're on one leg. Otherwise, keep marching. Inhale to tap down, hips stay square. Exhale, sink your waistline to bring that leg up. So it's an inhale tap and an exhale to lift. Inhale tap, exhale to lift. Now you can use your arms a little bit, so your arms can gently press down so the back sides of your armpits are on, your shoulder blade muscles are on. Last 3, 2, last one. Let's all meet with both feet on the ground. Take a breath. Lift your hips up just a little bit higher. Exhale, roll down, upper back, middle back, lower back, until your pelvis comes down to neutral. Take your arms overhead. Just let them fall all the way back. Your ribs are going to lift and pop. Let that happen for a moment. And then bring your arms back to the sky. Keep the ribs heavy now. So your abs, your obliques have to work to help maintain this rib control. And now see how far back can your arms go before your ribs want to pop or lift. Hold that, hands together behind the head, elbows in your peripheral vision. Nod the chin, lift the chest. So this initial lift, we want to try to get just up off the tips of the shoulder blades. Inhale down. Exhale, lift. But if your upper back is feeling tight, especially because this is the beginning of the class, just be mindful. It might take a couple to get your back warmed up. Check in that as you lift, your head is staying heavy in your hands. Your ribs are sliding down. And check that your pelvis is staying pretty neutral, so you're not going into a tuck. Shoulders are easy. Last one like this. We'll curl up, hold at the top. Now, your feet can stay on the ground or they can lift up. One at a time, tabletop. Lower back a little imprinted. Grab the back of your thighs. Now, it doesn't matter. Your feet can still be on the ground, or if they're lifted, we're still grabbing. Allow your upper back to wiggle out a little bit. And then use your arms to lift just gently, a little bit higher off those shoulder blades. Exhale, hands to the back of the head. Stay lifted. And then you're going to tap one leg to the ground. Bring it back up as you exhale. And again, tap one leg, opposite leg to the ground. Bring it back up. So stay here. If your legs are both lifted, you're tapping down, right? If your feet are on the ground and we're here, you can also do this by bringing a leg tabletop and alternating. This is going to be the peel back, right? Otherwise, keep tapping, ribs drawing down, lower waistline drawing in. And you want to be breathing so you can hear your exhale. And ending to your last side. And then eventually lower the head, hug the knees into the body, and just allow your lower back to rock from side to side. Float the legs back up to tabletop. Arms are going to open to a T. So hands about in line with your chest, palms turned up. Allow the back of the arm and the shoulder blade to be pretty heavy into the floor. Inhale, both legs over to the right. Try to keep the knees together and try to keep your left shoulder heavy. Exhale back to center. And then inhale, legs drift to the left. The knees stay together, the right shoulder stays heavy. Exhale back. So as you're rotating, this is less about how far can you get your legs and more about how stable can you keep your upper body. So we're getting the lower spine, the lower pelvis to rotate and move while the upper body stays stable. One more like this. So finishing to your left whenever you get there. Come back to center. Lower the feet down to the ground one at a time. Good. Arms come in by your side. Feet are hip distance. Exhale, curl your tailbone, roll your hips back up to the sky, one bone at a time. So we can come back to the marching that we just did a moment ago, or weight in the left leg, the right leg floats up tabletop. Right? So we can march, or right leg goes to the sky. You point your foot, your hips stay square. Exhale, you're gonna lengthen and lower that leg down just to about knee level. Flex the foot, lift back up, hold. Point, lengthen and lower. The ribs are still in, the waistline's still in. Flex the foot and lift. So it's the classic shoulder bridge. And there's a sense of the back of the leg opening as you come up and the front of the hip opening as you go down. Good, last one. Let's lift. Bend the knees, set the foot down, hold. So if you were marching, both feet heavy. If you're doing the shoulder bridge, both feet heavy, ribs soft. Exhale, opposite leg floats up, tabletop. Ribs are still in, hips are still square. Option, take that leg to the sky, point the foot. Exhale, lengthen and lower. Flex the foot, inhale, lift. Point, lengthen, lower, flex and lift. Now you want to be mindful that on the way down, your lower back isn't changing shape. So your core is still working to give your spine and your ribs and your back stability, while your hip gets to open and your hamstrings get to open. Last two. After that last one, lift, bend the knee, set the foot down. Now keep the hips lifting, take a breath in. Exhale, as you roll down, lift your arms up and let them reach overhead. Pelvis opens to neutral, hands together behind the head. Exhale, nod the chin, lift the chest, and take your right arm and reach it in between your knees. It's going to give you a little extra lift. Inhale to center, lower the head. Exhale, lift, left arm in between the knees, shoulders soft. Inhale to center, lower the head. Exhale, curl, reach. Inhale down. One more, exhale, curl, left arm reaches. Inhale down. Adding on, this time as we curl up, right arm is going to cross just over the left thigh, keeping the shoulder out of the ear. Come back to center and switch. Left arm crosses just past the right thigh and then bring it down. So just one more like this and we're going to add on. Coming to center, adding on, the legs can float up tabletop. Lower spine imprints. We'll curl the chest up. We'll exhale, rotate up and over to the right. Hello. Inhale back to center, hips stay square. Exhale, rotate up and over to your left. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist. So staying with this, or maybe adding the arm reach, which will actually give you a little bit of assistance. It'll help pull you up off your shoulder blades if your upper back is feeling tight. If you want to add on further, the next time you twist to the right, send the left leg out long. Inhale, center. Right leg long, twist left. Center, twist right, left arm long. So the full crisscross or obliques. One more to your left. And then come to center, bend the knees in towards you and lower your head. So again, you might wiggle out your hips a little bit. Find a place where your tailbone is heavy, but your lower back is heavy as well. Exhale, the arms and the legs reach to the sky. If the knees need to stay a little bent, that's okay. Shoulders heavy, bend the knees, grab your shins. And again, waistline draws in, limbs lift. Inhale, bend. And again, exhale, reach. Waistline draws in as your limbs go up. Bend. Now adding on, you might reach your limbs a little further away from the midline of the body. Bring it back. And you only want to go so far that your back doesn't arc. You're staying within the control of your abs. Now, third level, you can lift your chest, hold at the top, stay lifted in the chest as you reach out. Inhale, sweep around. So the full double leg stretch. Reach, sweep. Reach, sweep. Last two, reach, sweep. Last one, reach, sweep. Lower the head, lower the chest. Now grab the back of your legs, nod your chin, use your legs to help you roll up to a seated position. So knees are bent, feet are flat, lift your chest, roll your shoulders out of your ears, take an inhale. Exhale, scoop your tailbone, you're gonna roll back, pelvis, lower back, just to about where your arms get long, waistline still in, eyes are forward. And then as you exhale, round forward, restack, sit tall. And again, scoop the tailbone, so let the pelvis start the motion. Hold once your arms are long. And again, round forward, restack, sit tall. Stay here, or the next time that you roll down, I want you to pause. So find a place where your feet are relaxed, your hips can relax a bit. Draw your waistline in, especially from the base of the ribs, and then try to reach one arm forward, and then maybe the other arm meets it. So now your core is holding you, and then bring that arm back, and bring the other arm back as well. And again, one arm forward, the other arm meets it. Holding here, if you want to add on, exhale, right arm reaches to the sky. Try not to lift the ribs. Inhale it down, and then exhale, left arm reaches to the sky. Inhale down. So as one arm is going up, the ribs aren't moving. The abs have to work harder to stabilize the rib cage. One more each side. One to the right. One more to the left. Hold, take an inhale. Exhale, round forward, and then grab the top of your shins, restack, sit tall. Exhale, scoop the tailbone, and this time you're hanging onto the front of your shins. You might let your knees open and close a couple times. Let your shoulders soften, keep your waistline drawing in. Now in an exhale breath, you're gonna open the right arm and allow your eyes to follow your hand. You want the ribs twisting, but the lower back's gonna stay pretty stable. Come back to center, so you're grabbing all at the right, and then we're following the left hand open, and back to center. And again, so trying to find the obliques. We're not forcing the movement. We're creating it with the side abdominals, with the obliques. So just one more on each side, opening, hold, maybe stretch the other arm forward, come back to center. Last one will switch, left arm opens, maybe the right arm reaches forward, shoulders are soft. And then find your center, feet together, butterfly, the knees open. So your heels can come as close to your pelvis as it feels comfortable. You want to feel a bit of a stretch in your inner thighs and groin. And then you're just going to fall forward. Hold here, taking a deep breath. Inhaling through the nose. And exhaling through the mouth. One more deep breath. And then restack and sit tall. So the legs are going to reach out in front of us. If you have anything going on with your wrists, so my dad's watching in Connecticut. He just had some wrist surgery. So if you have anything going on with your hands or wrists, I want you to come onto your back again in the bridge. You're still going to work your back extensors and your shoulder extensors. Otherwise, if your wrists feel good today, you're going to lean back, fingers pointing towards your feet, elbows pointing straight back. And you're going to start to lift your chest slightly. So you want to start to feel a stretch in your shoulders and your chest line. And then just kind of let that collapse for a moment. And again, as you inhale, lift the chest, fingers spreading, and let that collapse. Adding on, we'll straighten the arms, start to lift the hips like you're going into bridge, and then look to the sky. So it's kind of like a reverse plank, lower the hips. Great. Now some people like their fingers pointing out, that's fine. So again, shoulders roll back, we lift. Use your glutes, use your hamstrings, eyes to the sky. Lower slowly. So keep going with this. You might have to kind of roll out the shoulders a couple times. Toes are pointing, hips are lifting, hips are opening. Lower. And again, if this does not serve you today, go back into the bridge. Next time you lift, let's hold. Eyes looking up, feet pressing down, hips lifting. Lower. Let's try just one more. Shoulders roll back. Take an inhale. Exhale, lift. Make sure the head isn't falling too far back behind you. The eyes are looking up. The glutes are on, the hamstrings are on. Bring it all the way down. Flex your feet. And then just stretch forward. You might grab onto your calves or your ankles. You might wiggle out a little bit. Let the head be heavy. Restack, pointing the toes, take the arms forward. Curl your tailbone. So just one time we're rolling down, and we're going to roll down slowly. Once you roll through your lower back, hold. So we're just off our shoulder blades. The right leg comes up to the sky. And I want you to use your hands either at the bottom of your knee or above it to give yourself a hamstring stretch. So the arms can pull that right leg in. Your waistline's drawn down. Left leg lifts. Pull the left leg towards you. Right leg touches the floor. Hold. Relax the neck. Relax the shoulders. Right leg comes up. Left leg goes down. So keep going at this pace. Now, no, your head can always come to the floor if that feels better in your neck today. Or if you want more abdominal work, keep the chest lifted. Even more abdominal work, hands behind the head. Exhale, switch. Exhaling to switch. One more each side. Ending with the left leg up and the right leg down, we'll hug the left leg into the chest. And you're going to allow that leg to cross over the body, open the left arm, turn the palm up. Just a gentle spine twist. So again, try not to force the twist, just breathe into it. Feel the back of your left shoulder blade heavy, so the chest is opening, and the space in between the base of the ribs and the pelvis is opening. As you exhale, come back to center. Right leg comes into the chest, And as you inhale, take that leg over, open the arm. Again, it doesn't matter how far over this goes. You're gonna feel stretch in your outer thigh, your hip, your back, your chest, and your arm. Take your left hand over your heart. Take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. And then come back to center. Toes are pointed, legs are long, ribs are heavy, arms reach overhead. Inhale, the arms, the head, and the chest lift first. Exhale, use your abdominals to roll all the way up, stretch forwards. Relax the shoulders. Restack, sit tall, and then we're going to cross the legs and come onto the hands and knees. So you might need a sip of water. I know I do, so I'm going to grab some water. All right, otherwise, we're on hands and knees at the top edge of the mat. Fingers spread round the spine like a cat. And then inhale, open the chest. Let the shoulders glide down. Look slightly forward. Tailbone lifting, so now your back is in a bit of extension. Find a place in the middle. Take one leg at a time back into plank. Now, we want to make sure the hips aren't too low. The hips aren't too high. Somewhere in the middle again. Waistline's in. Now, knees can always come down. We can always come down onto the forearms at any point if something's going on in the wrist today. Right? The full expression, we're here. But any expression that you're in today, you want to feel your shoulders are wide, your abdominals and core are lifted. Press your feet down if you're in this full plank. Feel the front of your thighs turn on, your glutes. And then take one leg at a time down to the ground. Round your spine up or take child's pose. Nice. Come back to neutral, maybe find a little bit of extension, especially in the upper spine. And then let's all meet hands and knees. So if you're in child's pose, come back up to hands and knees. And we're gonna take the right leg out long, and eventually it's gonna lift. So as it lifts, you wanna feel that there's still a little bit of a natural curve to your neck and your lower back, but nothing's really over exaggerated. So the waistline's in, that back leg is active. Lower the leg down. Exhale, switch. Yep. And lower the leg down. Exhale, switch. Try to keep your shoulders from collapsing like this. Keep the waistline lifting. And this can be done on the forearms as well. So just keep that in mind. There's a lot of different options, so we can all keep moving. And that is the goal, to keep moving. So one more to the left. And then the next time you get to your right side, hold. Now, a couple options here. You can take your left arm out to the side to a T, or maybe you take your left arm forward with your palm turning in. Right? Try to soften the shoulders out of the ears, keep the waistline lifting, keep your back leg lifting. Maybe close your eyes if you want to challenge your balance. And then meet back at center. Left leg reaches long. Make sure you haven't shifted in the hips. Maybe the right arm comes out to the side. Palm down, so back of the shoulder blades are working. Maybe the arm goes forward with the palm facing in. Wherever you are, close your eyes if you want to challenge your balance. And take it all down to the ground, and we're gonna come down onto the forearms. Grab your upper biceps to measure your elbow distance. Hands can be together or separate them if you want a little more work in your shoulder blades. Knees are gonna narrow. We want them just about under the hip joints. Eyes are looking down. And then again, your right leg is gonna reach out and up, right? Stay long through your neck. Now, we're gonna stay on this side. You're gonna bend that leg in and down, and you're gonna exhale it back and up. So it's a slow on the down, and slow on the up. Now, at any point, if being on the hands feels better on the neck, that's okay. You might try shaking it out a bit. And at this point, you're going to start to feel both glutes working. Your standing leg, your left leg, that outer glute is on. And the leg, the right leg that's reaching back, the center of that glute's on. Now, if you want to advance this, you're going to take your right arm off your mat, your left forearm parallel to the front edge of the mat. The right leg reaches out and up, right? So my right arm's in front of me. If I look at my shoulder, right, I'm not collapsing, I'm lifting through my bottom waistline. Now the difference here, that top leg is gonna bend, but we're gonna try to keep the knee high. And then we're gonna reach out and up, and I'm gonna continue to look down. So once you've figured out what's going on, find a good alignment with your neck so it's following the angle of your upper spine. If you want to challenge your balance, you might take your top arm to the sky. And again, these are just all options for you to play with. If something doesn't feel good, peel it back. At this point, you're probably noticing that standing leg, that left leg, that glute is doing some work. Last one. Now, wherever you are, if you're still on hands and knees, that's awesome. Keep the back leg lifted. If you're with me, keep your top leg lifted. Hold. 5, 4. Can the leg lift a little higher? 3, 2. Let's all meet down in child's pose on 1. Toes together, knees open. Reach the arms forward. Heavy in the head. So let your shoulders fall easy. Let your hips fall heavy. And for a moment, come back to that breath that we started with. And then rise back up to the forearms. So you can measure it out. So upper bicep, that's your elbow distance, hands together or apart. The knees can narrow. The left leg is going to reach out, up and back. And then lower it down, bend it in. Stay on that same side. Exhale, reach, lift, bring it down and in. Reach and lift. Now, keep your forearms pushing down. Keep your inner elbows hugging in like you were squeezing gently onto a block or a pillow. So your shoulder blades and your upper back are still doing quite a bit of work. Check in that your right shin, your base of support, that leg is rooting down. Good. Couple more like this, and then we'll give you that option to add on. The last one like this. Now you can stay here. Now, if wherever you are, stay there. I'm going to turn just so I'm still facing you. All right. So if you want to advance this, your left arm is going to come off just the side of the mat. The right arm is parallel to the front edge. And then that left leg is going to lift and reach, pointing the toes. Right now, if you're still on your forearms, that's okay, just stay there. If you've advanced, bend the top leg in towards you, and then exhale, reach out and up. Making sure the bottom shoulder is out of the ears. At any point, you might lift the top arm, inhaling in, exhaling out. Now you can look down, so once you've figured out the movement, look down just a bit. And it doesn't mean we're collapsing the neck, we're just angling the neck with the upper spine. Keep rooting down with your standing leg. Last 3, and make sure as you reach, there's a little lift at the top. 2. And on the last one, I want you to hold. So wherever you are, if you're on your forearms, if you're here with me, just hold for 4, 3, 2, come 1, come back down to child's pose. So feet together, knees open. Maybe arms reaching back this time, shoulders falling heavy to the floor. And again, just hold there for a couple breaths, allowing the spinal muscles to relax. Nice. And then make your way down onto your stomach. Your arms are going to reach back towards your feet with your hands just off the side of your mat, palms facing down. Now your forehead can touch the ground, or if that doesn't feel good with whatever surface you're on, you can always just hover the nose about an inch off the ground. Now wiggle out the hips a bit and find a place where your hip bones are even, your lower waistline and rib line are drawing up, and your pubic bone is pushing down lightly. So the back of your glutes are just softly on. As you inhale, start to float the chest up, and I want you to imagine a plane. So it's gradually taking off, off, off at this beautiful, nice long angle. Hold at the top so the upper spine is extending, the lower back hasn't moved too much, and then take it down slowly. Roll the shoulders back a bit, start to float the chest up. Check in with your neck. Is it aligned with the rest of your spine? Maybe lift the arms. Take it down. And again, peeling up. So really trying to get the upper spine to move. So sometimes for me, less is more. If I don't try to go quite so high on this, I get a lot more work in between my shoulder blades. Maybe lift the arms, maybe lift the legs. Take it down. And just one more time, float the chest up. Long through the neck, shoulders rolling back, waistline in. You can lift the limbs, maybe clasp the hands together, drawing the knuckles back, opening up the heart and the chest. And again, take it down. Take the hands underneath the forehead, bend the knees. Windshield wiper the feet from side to side. Allowing your pelvis to move with you. Bring the legs to center. Last thing we're going to do for our back muscles. The arms can reach forward with your nose an inch off the ground, or if forward doesn't feel good, they can always reach out to the side. So just like we did on hands and knees. Hands about shoulder distance if they're forward. We're going to hover the chest up a couple vertebrae. So the upper spine is active. Abs in, right leg lifts, left arm lifts, just a hover. Inhale down, feel all 4 limbs touch, and then left leg, right arm lifts. Inhale down, exhale to switch. So whatever limbs are still on the ground, I want you to focus on gently pressing those limbs down as your other 2 limbs lift up. And then whatever limbs are lifting, have a sense of opening the armpit and the front of the hip. So you're not limiting motion, you're allowing it to happen while you're staying stable in your pelvis and your ribs and your spine. Just a couple more like this. And eventually finish off to your last side. And we'll all meet down in child's pose. Yeah, take just one breath in child's pose. And as you exhale, rise back up to the hands and the knees. You might have to come up to the top edge of the mat. Fingers are spread. And we're going to start to put a lot of this together. So everything that we've done, we're going to add onto it. So one leg at a time reaches back into plank. So now press down through your hands. Feel some width through the outer pinky so your shoulder blades are wide, right? They're not collapsing. Abs are lifting. Your spinal muscles and your core are activated. Now stay here or push into your left leg and allow your right leg to float up. This is exactly what we did on hands and knees. We lower it down, put weight into the right leg, left leg floats up. And really something very similar that we did just on our belly in swimming. So whatever leg is lifting, the front of the hips opening, it doesn't have to go very high, right? You don't want to feel a shift or change in your lower back. Keep your abdominals lifting. One more on each side, eventually ending to your last side. And then you can press up through down dog, or you can take child's pose. If you're in your down dog, allow your shoulders to soften out of the ears. Bend your knees a little bit. Lift your hips high to the sky. And then start to let the heels fall towards the floor. And maybe they touch, maybe they don't. It's okay. Just start to feel stretch in the back of your hamstrings and calves. Nice. We're going to shift back into our plank. Hold the plank. Chest is open. It's the last plank, I promise. Heart is open, shoulders are wide. Keep the feet pressing down. Keep the core lifting in. Now on this one, if you want to add on right knee, left elbow, inhale center, left knee, right elbow. So similar to what we did on our back, in crisscross, it's just a different way to get our abs and our obliques connected. And this can always be done on your back. So you can always come onto the back, hands behind the head. One more each side. Make sure you end to your last side. And then again, down dog or child's pose. Easy into the shoulders. Let's all take a big deep breath in together. And exhale, we'll let it out through an open mouth. Shift forward, and we're going to come into a little bit of mobility work. So we can come into pigeon, or if pigeon doesn't feel good in the knee or the hip, we can also come onto our back. So if we're coming into pigeon, right knee to the right hand, kick the foot open, send the left leg back, and then you can come onto the forearms like this. The peel back on this, you're on your back, right ankle over left thigh, and you can hug that thigh into your body. So wherever you are, just hold that stretch for a moment. And we're still going to go into a side series today, but I want to mobilize your hips a bit before we start to work into your side and into your glutes. And I just want you to see if you feel a difference from doing the mobility work a little bit sooner than later. So again, if you're in pigeon, or even if you're on your back, take a gentle rock from side to side. Find the place that feels in the middle, so you're not just on one side more than the other. And we're feeling a stretch into this outer glute area. And then as you're ready, switch sides. So if you're in pigeon, just switching left knee towards left hand, right leg reaching back. If you're in figure four, just switching legs. And again, you can hold this for a moment. Maybe find a gentle rock to figure out where center is. This from side to side, things will feel a little bit different. And notice if you're still trying to keep your glutes on, try to let them relax for a moment. And then rise up and make your way onto your left side facing me. So your bottom arm is going to be long. So now that your hips are hopefully a little bit looser, I want to see how this feels. So ribs are in, not overly rounded, not overly popped. Hips are stacked. Flex your top foot, lift the top knee open and up, and you want to feel that the back of the glute is on. Inhale to lower down. All right, exhaling to lift. And inhaling to lower. And as you lift up, make sure your pelvis isn't rolling back, but your hips are staying nice and stacked. So all of the core work, the front of our abdominals, the side of our obliques, And our back extensors are all working to help keep our ribs and our spine still. Stay here or lift the feet. Continue to flex and lift the top knee open and lower it down. So again, working into the side of the glutes. Keep checking your posture. What are your shoulders doing? What's your jaw and your neck doing? And last one like this, hold. So do you feel the side of that glute on? Can you lift just a little higher? And then lower everything down. The top leg is gonna reach long, and we're gonna lift that leg up about hip height. So we're pointing the foot today, ribs soft, hips are stacked. Now, we're gonna allow that leg to lift just a little bit higher. So now working right into the side of the glute, we're gonna lower down, keeping that glute active. Exhaling up. Try not to hike the hip. Inhale down. Exhaling up. Inhaling down. Last three, exhaling up and down. You can always check the hip by touching it. 2. Last one, lifting. Staying lifted, we're going to circle back, down, forward, and up for 5. Picturing the circle 4, coming from where the thigh bone meets the pelvis. 3. 2. Last one, hold at the top, reverse, forward, down, back and up for 5. 4. 3. 2. And 1. Back to center. Rub out that thigh a little bit, and then you can press yourself up. Switch sides. So you're all the way down on your right side, your knees are together, your feet are together, heels in line with the back of the sit bones. And then our shoulders and our hips are both stacked. So you might take a couple of hip hikes to start, so make sure you're not starting with your hip really hiked up into your ribs. Check that the waistline is still drawing in gently. Flex the top foot, lift the top knee open, and then lower it down. Checking that the hips aren't moving backwards in space. And if you touch kind of the back center of your butt, as you lift, you want to feel like your glute is helping to rotate your leg. A couple more like this. And then last one, and you have the option to add on. So staying here, or the feet lift, they stay together, the top knee opens, and it lowers slowly. Check, right? Did the pelvis hike? Did it rotate? How fast are you going? Are you controlling it up and finding that moment of pause at the top? Checking the neck and the shoulders. Last 2. Last one like this. And then lower everything down to the ground. Top leg reaches out long, the bottom leg can stay bent. Point the foot. Hips square and stack. We're gonna lift that leg and then lower it with control. So even on the way down, your glute is resisting against gravity. We're exhaling up and down. Making sure that the leg is straight but not locked. The waistline's working. Last 3. 2. And on the last one, we're gonna lift, circle back, around, down, and forward for 5. So as you circle, you should still be feeling the side of the glutes. 4. And your hip rotators. 3. 2. Everything in the upper body is stable. Hold at the top, we reverse it. Forward, down, back, and around. 5. 4. 3. 2. 1. Come back to center. Bend your knees. Rub that thigh out a little bit. Nicely done. And then come back up to a seated position. So again, you can find a place where your legs are crossed. You can be on your shins. You can be seated on a pillow. So whatever feels better in your hips or your lower back. Also, if it feels better to have your legs kind of bent and open, that's okay. So wherever you are, the left arm is going to come forward with your palm up. And this isn't a Pilates move. It's a forced yoga exercise to open up the wrist. So we did a lot of planks today. So you're going to take your right arm underneath your left, and you want to grab the root of your thumb. And you're going to gently pull the thumb back as you spread the fingers open and draw it down. So it's going to open up the space under this thumb joint and all the way up into the wrist and the forearm. Inhale to let that go. Grab the root of your piece or your pointer finger, spread, draw down, and then just continue to go down thumb or finger by finger rather. So spreading the fingers, reaching down, opening up the wrist. And you can use your right thumb as leverage on the back of your hand to get a deeper stretch. But just be mindful, this is pretty intense if you haven't done it before. Right? Shake that out. And then left hand comes underneath the right, grab the thumb, spread the fingers and reach. Inhale to let that go, pointer finger. It's also really good if you've been on your computer a lot or your phone texting or really just using your smartphone at all. And we have, I know myself included, have all been on the laptop a little bit more these days. So this is a nice way to open up the forearm, the wrist, and this will eventually even open up the neck. Now, once you finish that right arm, just shake it out. Make sure you're not going to hit anyone or anything, but you're going to press your arms out to the side. And as you push out, imagine you're pushing away both walls. Pull your fingernails towards you and feel stretch underneath the forearm, maybe even into the armpits. And then you're going to roll through your pinky, ring, middle, pointer, thumb. Make a fist, draw the knuckles down, and then relax the arms. We'll do it again. So the arms lift, we push the walls out, shoulders soften. Roll through, pinky, ring, middle, pointer, thumb. Make a fist, draw down. So the top of the wrist right here is getting a stretch. Right? Relax the shoulders. Let that come down. And then one more thing, the arms come up, the palms turn forward. Thumbs draw in. All 4 fingers wrap around the thumb, and then we draw down, but now the side of the wrist through here is getting a stretch. Right? Notice if one side feels different than the other. Let that relax. And just one more time, the arms come up, palms forward, thumbs in. All 4 fingers wrap, draw the knuckles down so the side of the wrist gets a stretch. Keep breathing. And then relax the arms. They can come into your lap. Palms can be up or down, whatever feels more comfortable. And then wherever your hands are, try to keep them heavy. And as you inhale, lift your shoulders up. Exhale, draw your shoulder blades together and down your back. And just go at your own time, inhaling up. Exhale as you draw the shoulder blades together and pull back. So really trying to get your shoulder blades, your scapula to move, your chest to open. Take a couple in reverse, inhale up and forward, exhale down and down. We're going to try to bring some blood flow back to this area. And then let your shoulders fall easy. And as you exhale, tilt your head to the left. Maybe tilt your jaw up a little bit, feeling the front of your neck stretch open. Or maybe tilt your head down, feeling the back of your neck stretch open. And wherever you feel like you need more stretch, I want you to stay in that position. And take maybe 3 more breaths. Feeling easy in the shoulders. Rolling the head forward and over to the other side. Maybe tilting the head up. So again, front of the jaw and neck gets the stretch, and maybe looking down. Stretching the back of the neck. And again, wherever you feel like you need more stretch, hold that place. And then roll the head forward, restack. And then you can close your eyes or you can keep them just softly open. But take a breath in, allow your chest to open, allow your belly to expand. Take a moment of pause. Exhale out slowly. 2 more like that. Inhale through your nose. Chest, ribs, stomach expands. Find that moment of stillness. Exhale it out. 1 more. Inhaling, lengthen your spine. Open your heart. Find that moment of pause. And exhale, let it out. If you have any questions, let me know. Thank you so much for moving with me and for coming to my living room. Classes tonight will be back at the studio. And yeah, if you have any requests at all for classes you want to see in the future, let us know. There are some free 30-minute videos on the website under Mind Body Online that are complimentary. We're also going to be having some foam roller classes and some more prop classes. So shoot us an email if there's anything you want to see. And stay healthy, keep moving, and thank you very much.